Hello Aquarius, and welcome to your reading for the week of January 23 to 29, 2024. This is a reading for you if you are Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Moon, Aquarius Rising, or have some other significant Aquarius placement in your chart. If you're returning to this channel, welcome back. It's good to have you back again. I'm glad that these readings resonate with you. And if you are new to this channel, welcome. I do hope you find these readings useful. If you do, and for everybody, please, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. And give me a thumbs up if you find this video useful. And leave me a comment if you would like. Just down in the description below, I have the link to my PayPal donation link for those who might be interested. And again, nobody's obviously ever obliged to donate for these readings, but sometimes people do. And I want to say thank you to those of you who do very much. That is very helpful and is very much appreciated. And also in the description box below is the link to my website. My business is called Transition Life Coaching. But the website is called Liminal Reiki. Just as Liminal Tarot, that's Liminal Reiki. You can see an explanation of what I do and what services I offer for spiritual counseling, tarot, astrology, and so on and so forth at that site if you so choose. Okay, so one thing I'm going to say, being that you're Aquarius. Aquarius is a sign right now. Pluto is moving into Aquarius, okay? So if you have an Aquarius sun, then, Pluto's a very far away planet. So people say that its impact is not quite as personal, but it seems to have more of a shakeup on the collective way of doing things. For instance, Pluto is just now leaving Capricorn, and Pluto in Capricorn started in 2008 when we started to have financial shakeups, and we started to see some more governments and certain systems just kind of in a lot of turmoil and a lot of shift and change. And we are, with COVID and everything, you're starting to see, looking at the values, the traditional Capricornian values that we had and how those were being challenged and questioned. So certainly it's going to be Aquarian values that are challenged and questioned. Would have to do with forward thinking, might have to do with our relationships with people, has to do with innovation, technology. Certainly things like AI belong to the Aquarian future. Lots of different things, but again, it will depend on even with an Aquarius sun where it falls in your chart. So it might be worth taking a look at your chart. There's a lot of free sites to take a look at astrological charts to see where Pluto lies, what house Pluto lies in, to see what area might be affected in your natal chart and how that might be affecting, based on your rising sign, usually what the transiting Pluto is going to mean to your chart right now. Because there's what your natal chart, which is your birth chart, what that means. And then there's also what's going on in your transits. Both of those things will have an effect. So, so just mentioning that because certainly you are the sign that is going to be affected a lot by this. So, the way I do these readings, if you're not familiar, is I do an actual horoscope spread using the 12 houses of astrology. And the positions, the astrological houses, are how I interpret the cards in terms of those astrological houses. I use the Cartouche deck, which is an Egyptian oracle. That is the first thing that I use, and then I clarify those with the tarot deck, and the tarot deck I'm using is the Guardian of the Night Tarot. This is a deck by MJ Coulinane, I think is the way you say her name. I hope I've not been mispronouncing her name the whole time. And I also will do an oracle reading with the Essential Oil Oracle, pull a card from this at the end. I do pull an Essential Oil Oracle card daily on Instagram on my channel transition.life.coaching. This also should be visible on Facebook under Transition Life Coaching, no dots in between the words. They're just all out there separately. So if you're interested in some of the work I do and also some of the live streams and other videos that I post there, do check out those channels on Instagram or on Facebook. Okay, so let's get busy looking at your reading. Okay, so Aquarius, the first position is the Aries position, first house, and this is to do with your personality, how you present yourself to the world, how other people see you, how you want to be seen. And you have Nepothys with the Ace of Swords. Now, you're not the only one to have this time. I feel like there's either Capricorn, Sagittarius, somebody else had this similar combination. And this is interesting because Ace of Swords is about like a realization of something. In the first house, this is like coming to some truth about yourself, and coming to it very, very suddenly. Like there's a very stark clarity that comes in with the sword energy, almost like a lightning bolt. It like cuts through, and it cuts through anything that is false or illusory. And you have it with this Neptunian energy that's in the Nepenthes card. Nepenthes has to do with that. It's almost the opposite of this. It has to do with what's nebulous, what's unknown, what has yet to be discovered. Okay, this can come up if you are in a place where maybe you are feeling more imaginative, more dreamy, more intuitive, a little more withdrawn. But I feel like it could be as a result of this, but you're going to be drawn into this kind of stark clarity that we have here with the Ace of Swords. So yeah, I just feel like there are things, you're going to be discovering things about yourself, and these may come in as messages, as epiphanies, as something that may bring clarity to you and maybe bring change to you in how you present yourself in a very sudden and dramatic fashion. So we'll see what that's about as we move through this reading. Second house is Taurian energy. This has to do with this is Venus. This has to do with money, possessions, luxury items, also your values. Okay, so you have Ta, which is Capricorn energy. So this has to do with work and working hard. So you may be at a point right now where you are really have your nose to the grindstone, so to speak, in terms of your work, in terms of maybe building your finances. Ta is the master builder, so you may be building up your investments. You may be coming up with some kind of a portfolio or retirement plan or something. Ta definitely has to do with hard work being put in in the financial sector. In terms of possessions too, I mean, Ta can have to do with that which is crafted or crafted by hand. So I don't know if that means something to somebody. I don't normally interpret Ta that way in this house, but it did jump into my head. So maybe that does apply for somebody. Maybe you are either making something or having something made for you. Don't know. Take it as it resonates. But we have another ace here. We have the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups this has to do with, cups usually have to do with emotions. So a lot of times this shows up when there's new love. But in the house of material possessions, or in terms of money, Ace of Cups could just mean something new coming in for you financially. And this could be a gift. This could be a gift from a loved one. This could be a chance to have an opportunity to do something that you love, okay, and to make money at it. So yeah, it's definitely a positive new beginning, one that will be emotionally satisfying. Of course, in both of these cases, we are looking at the beginning of something. So, when you're always at the beginning of something, there's still much to do, much to be uncovered, much to happen. So, because it's the beginning, not the culmination. So, yeah, you have a couple of new beginnings coming up here already. Okay, third house is Gemini energy. This has to do with communications of all types. This can have to do with, some people it has to do with writing and publishing. It's opposed to the ninth house in Sagittarius. Sagittarius has to do with thinking and thought and messages, but those are on a deeper level. That's more like philosophy, religion, meaning of life. This is not on that level. This is Gemini. This is quick communications, short-term travel, also relationships between siblings, between brothers and sisters. And if you have your own business, this is also the house of self-effort. And we have Thoth with the Five of Cups. Okay, so when Five of Cups shows up, we are mourning the loss of something. Okay, we are looking back at a past situation. Now, Thoth can indicate a situation in which we need healing. Now, this is the caduceus that we also see associated with Mercury. Mercury is associated with the planet associated with the third house here. And this sometimes also has to do with healing, and sometimes for some of you, this will have to do with writing. Okay, there may be something about the written word that is at issue here, if somebody's writing or publishing. But I feel more like this has to do with the timing of something. There's some kind of message coming in, or something connected to your business, again, or maybe to a sibling relationship. Again, take it however it fits here. This is a general reading. But there's something about timing here, something almost about karma, the idea that that something is happening for a reason and at the right time. I mean, I don't know how else to express it like that. So with the Five of Cups seems to suggest to me we've got this death head moth here, and you've got the three broken goblets, and you've got two that are still standing. So the idea is you need to move away from this. You need to move into this space of transformation. Basically, you're letting go of the old. Okay, it's time to let go of the old because there's going to be messages that are going to bring in something new. And you may be looking back on some things with regret or with a sense of loss, or maybe you're grieving, but it's going to be time to move on from grieving. When this card comes up, we are ready to move, getting ready to move on to the next thing. We are struggling with the emotions here, but we're ready to move on to the next thing. Fourth house is Cancer energy, so this has to do with your home, your family, sometimes with the mother specifically, your sense of security. We have Three of Cups with water. Okay, so whenever I see water or air in this house, and maybe Anubis too, this is a card that has to do with movement and change. So in the home sector, for some of you, this means that you are moving. Okay, maybe you are moving across water, maybe you are moving to a place that has water, or by a lake or a river or something like that. I don't know. Hopefully it's not an omen that, with all the weird weather we've had, that water has been affecting your house, but it's not coming up as a negative here. With the Three of Cups, there's definitely this idea of something that is to be celebrated. Maybe there's going to be a family gathering of some kind. Three of Cups indicates reconciliations or reunions sometimes. So maybe you could be taking a trip somewhere near water for some kind of a event like this. I don't know, but or it could be something you're hosting in your own home. But I'm feeling generally like there's some kind of a change that's going on here. And the Three of Cups indicates that whatever's going on, there's either going to be a gathering of people or a reason to celebrate. It can also indicate that if there are certain changes that you are going through right now, or whether you're physically moving or not, whatever changes you're going through, I feel like it's something where involving a third party or seeking help from friends or from the outside would actually be useful to you right now. And sorry with this little tickle I have in my throat. I don't have it all day, and then I sit down to do a reading and it starts. So go figure. Okay, fifth house, this is Leo energy, and Leo has to do with creativity, children, love affairs. It's a very playful house. It has to do with leisure time, things that we do to enjoy ourselves, really. And unfortunately, you have the Nine of Swords here. So the Nine of Swords indicates that you are very worried about something. And you have it with the Crook and Flail. So the Crook and Flail, I don't know. Now, Crook and Flail can come up when you're worried about the legality of something. So if you have a creative venture and maybe you're worried about, I don't know, something with copyright or challenges or something like that, that could be a possibility here. This could indicate, it could also just indicate the need for self-discipline, for self-confidence. I feel like this is the house, as I mentioned, of love affairs and children. So for some of you, that you could have a boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever you're dating, again, it's not a marriage situation. It would be an unlegalized situation. There could be somebody here who is struggling with something like this. Maybe you have a worry about them. Maybe you have a worry about whether or not, if it's a child, maybe it's somebody you're having trouble being disciplined or focused, or maybe they're experiencing a loss of confidence. That is a possibility with this house. Whatever the situation is, Nine of Swords tends to indicate worries that I always feel like this is the yes, but, and what if of the tarot deck. And so when this card comes up, I feel like it's saying you may be more worried about, but what if this happens? And the sense seems to be that it may be more of a circumstantial worry that never actually comes to pass. In my experience, Nine of Swords difficulties are not things that happen. Okay, they're more. It's more like the kind of rumination we do at night about every possible outcome, and as we know, the things we lay awake thinking like, oh, this might happen or that might happen. That probably 99% of it never happens. So I feel like you may need to be releasing this sense of worry. And Crook and Flail could just be telling you that you need to be confident. Be confident in yourself. Trust in your own authority and in your own resources. I mean, that's certainly an aspect of this card. So yeah, take this as it resonates, but for somebody this could have to do with concern about a legal situation. But I think for most people, this is just, there may be concern about somebody or about somebody's ability to be organized or be disciplined or to be noticed for something maybe too, because Crook and Flail does have to do with reputation and being noticed. And it is in the house of Leo, which of course is a house that also has to do with being noticed. So there may be some worries, but I just feel like whatever these worries are, they're, I feel like there's something that's, it's a 9. It's something that's getting ready to end. It's passing out of vogue. And in fact, I'm seeing the 10 of Swords up here. So we'll talk about what that means when we get there. Okay, 6th house. This is Virgo energy. So this is your health. This is jobs that you may be doing. This in terms of service. So oftentimes this is work that you're doing for somebody else, maybe rather than being self-employed, or and this may just be something you do to make money. But this is also the house of worry. So yeah, this can come up when we are, because Virgo happens to be a sign of perfection, of paying attention to details, of wanting to get everything right. So there may be a little more worry there than you would see with other signs. But you have air with the Chariot. Okay, Chariot's Cancer energy. But okay, these are both cards of movement. So I don't know. I don't know if this is the traveling that you have to do for a job, or for something. For some of you, this jumped into my head because this is also the house of domestic animals and pets. So I don't know if some of you are traveling to get a pet or to obtain a pet. That seems very specific for somebody. But whatever this is, there's this sense of something, movement and change and moving very quickly. And if I look back and see that you've got water down here, I don't know. I feel like some of you are getting ready to make a move, maybe a physical move. But there's some significant change that's happening. Maybe it's traveling for a health matter too, because this is the house of health. So maybe somebody's going somewhere to get tests or something like that. I don't know, but there's definitely the sense of fast movement and change. And also Chariot can be about taking control of a situation, figuring out what the outer edges are, what the boundaries are, and being able to move ahead. Generally speaking, I see this as a good omen because I see this as something, energy that's not stuck, energy that's moving and that allows you to move ahead with what it is that you are trying to do. So if there's worries around that, seeing that there's some regret over here with the 5 of Cups, and seeing that maybe you've been in this nebulous space that Nephthys has, I feel like you may be waking up, to something, and now you're, everything's moving and changing. It's interesting because I do wonder if that's that Pluto shift is suddenly starting to shake things up in your energy here. 7th house is Libra energy, so this has to do with Libra is partnerships. Okay, so this is usually legal partnerships, so marriages, long-term relationships. Anything where there may be a legal contract, so a business partnership or some other kind of relationship like that. You have Earth with the 7 of Wands. Okay, so now this could indicate an Earth sign person, potentially Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. If your partner is one of those things, possibly it refers to them, or somebody who maybe you're interested in having a long-term relationship with. But you have it with the 7 of Wands. So there's a sense that somebody in a relationship here is on the defensive, or they may be defensive about having a long-term relationship. Okay, so there's definitely a sense here that somebody maybe feels under attack or maybe feels like they need to defend their position in some way. So somebody's standing their ground, and you have it with Earth. So I don't know. I feel like this is a kind of a situation, whether we're talking about a business or financial partnership, or whether we're talking about specifically a marriage, or a relationship where we're looking at long-term potential. Earth says to me that there's something going on here that's going to take some time to grow. If you are already married, then this could be something that you and your partner are doing that's going to take time, and maybe you're going to feel like there's some opposition. Again, there's this hurrying information, hurrying sense over here about let's move something. And then of course we have this sense of worry down here. But this seems to be saying, you need to kind of stand your ground on something. Or you could just find, you could be facing somebody who's just a bit stubborn and immovable right now, saying, no, I'm not changing my position. I'm not, if you here are seeing this need for change in the first house. Remember, this house is opposite the seventh house. So these tend to inform each other. This is you by yourself. This is you in relationship. So you may be in a position of saying, oh, this new change is needed. You may be waking up to this. The person over here may be saying, I'm not sure I'm ready to move yet. Okay, and you've got sevens in both cases. So you've got a 7 of Wands here, and you've got the 7 over here. So interesting. Sevens are generally, 5s are conflict. 6s are kind of this idea of sort of accomplishment, moving away from conflict. But then the 7s throw us into the mix of all these different options, and again, all these outside influences that may come in. So it could be also in your relationship situation that maybe, there's other people coming in, giving their 2 cents and influencing a situation when they really probably should just mind their own business. But you may find that you are doing something maybe that's being critiqued by others, or you or your partner, or you just may have a partner who, if you're trying to push them towards commitment, they may be like, they need more time for this to grow. They may not be ready to go here yet. So again, it's going to be different for everybody. General reading. Okay, so 8th house, Scorpio energy. This is about transformation. This is about other people's money. Okay, and you have Urias with the Magician. I've had a lot of people with Urias in the 8th house lately. And that really makes sense with what I'm seeing in the 1st house here. Because Urias is about expect the unexpected is probably the most basic message of Urias in this particular house. Now, for some of you, who might be watching this, I mean, people who tend to believe, I shouldn't believe isn't really the right word, people who tend to appreciate the information that comes from tarot or from astrology or things like that may also be involved in magic in some way. And this is definitely a very magical card in the 8th house. 8th house is about esoteric practices, and this is a card of esoteric practices at its highest level. This particular system gets translated at 3 levels. There's the superconscious, there's the sort of mental or mental consciousness. This is like the spiritual consciousness, mental consciousness, and then there's on the physical plane. On the spiritual level, this is occult adeptship. This is about somebody finding a way to craft their own path using energetics, using energy, using magic in some way. But that doesn't have to be the case. If you say, nope, that's not me, I have nothing to do with any of that. But of course, we have it with the Magician. So somebody here is a magician. Somebody watching this, and if so, it may be pointing out the fact that you do, you need to kind of keep your eyes open in a situation, and you have the ability to try to maneuver or manifest something the way that you want to. But if you're not a magician, then this would certainly be saying that there's something unexpected that's going to come into play here. And the Magician may indicate a need for you to act. This is a call to manifest what you want. So, and yeah, seeing this Ace of Swords in the 1st house, I feel like, yeah, there's maybe a wake-up call about a direction you need to go in, but it seems like it may come from an unexpected quarter. Urias also, I've used this system a long time, and I know this card often gets translated in the book as like, oh, hidden enemies and things like that, but I don't see Urias as a hidden enemy card. I tend to see it as a card that says, we may be looking at a situation from a very pessimistic point of view. Like we have this 5 of Cups down here, right? We're looking at the broken cups. But the reality of the situation is usually not as bad as we think it is. The situation, there may be variables that we don't know about. We may be looking at a situation and saying, oh, this is the outcome, X and Y is happening. But this is saying, no, there may be another variable here that you're not seeing. And the fact that you also have Nephthys in the 1st house here, I always kind of feel like Nephthys and Urias, energetically, they are quite similar in the sense that they deal with things that we're not seeing yet, okay? So I don't know. There's going to be a need for action, a need for you to manifest, to get out there, to communicate. This may be something that's coming out of the blue to some degree. And those of you who are magicians, you may want to think about how you are, how you might use that energy to assist you in your new situation. Okay, ninth house Sagittarius energy. Sag energy has to do with expansion. It's Jupiter energy. So Jupiter is, this is expansion of thought, as I've mentioned earlier, deep thinking, philosophy, religion, higher education, long distance travel, sometimes legal matters as well. Now we have the Ankh here. So, okay, now one of the basic meanings of Ankh, and which will apply again to some of you and not all of you, has to do with love, okay? This could be love. Somebody could be somebody who's far away. Ankh sometimes shows up when we have somebody at a distance, maybe who are traveling to go see, and somebody not close by. This can also have to do with a love of education or a love of learning or of expanding your horizons in some kind of a fashion. It could also just be a love of travel. It doesn't have to be about a specific person, but you do have a King of Swords here. So King of Swords energy is actually quite fitting with the ninth house, even though it's a fire house, and this is an air card, because King of Swords is about making decisions. It's about being intellectual. I feel like the King of Swords is the card of the professor, so to speak. So I don't know. I mean, maybe some of you maybe some of you are in love with your professors. Who knows? I mean, if you're in school, that's quite specific. And not necessarily the meaning, but if it applies to you, well then it's quite possible that there's something going on there. Although, judging from the relationship stuff I'm seeing here, if that is the case, this may be a very slow-growing situation where there may be some fraught with some worry. Actually, that would make sense because this would indicate somebody who has to maintain their status or reputation, and there may be worries about that. So, yeah, it's weird too, because it's not the first time I've seen something about potentially a mentor or a teacher, and there being some kind of love there. I mean, it also could be that you are a teacher yourself, and maybe this is another teacher. I don't know, but they're almost. And when I say this, I don't mean like K through 12 students and their teachers. I mean like people who are in university and who are all adults. So we're not talking about a situation of children or anything like that. Because this is definitely more of a professor vibe. But yeah, but there may be somebody who's a teacher or a mentor, or maybe this is you. But there's definitely this sense of intellectual learning, higher learning of some kind. And making decisions, very logical kind of learning, though. This is not about saying taking a class on intuition or something. This is a little bit more analytical in the way that the King of Swords operates. So, I don't know. There's you can take it as it resonates. Sometimes too, this has to do with publishing, like academic publishing and things like that. So, if that's a factor for you, that's another possible angle. This person could be connected to something like that. I don't know, but there's a possibility either of love here or just an opportunity to expand into doing something that you really love. So take it as you feel it resonates. Okay, 10th house, we have Capricorn. And this is your career, reputation, your fame, and also sometimes the father. Okay, so we have Anubis with the Lovers. So, okay, so again, we have more of this idea of travel. Now, Anubis sometimes is just about protecting yourself. Maybe you're protecting your job. Maybe it's suggesting that if you think your job is threatened in some way, that you are in fact protected. However, the fact that you have in your 6th house, which is the other job-oriented house, you have all these cards of movement. I think I may have mentioned earlier that Anubis is yet another card, along with water down here, which is right opposite, of travel, okay? Whether this literally means moving for a job or whether it just means travel of some kind that's significant for a job, I don't know. But certainly some of you are making a move of home for a job or career situation. And so Anubis would indicate a travel, movement, and also protection. You have it with the Lovers. So again, there is a possibility here that you are, I'm seeing this Ankh as a long distance thing. For some of you, maybe you are making a move, maybe you have a partner, or maybe you are moving for love or for somebody who is a partner. Maybe your partner has gotten a job far away and now you're going to be moving with them and making this change. However, if that's not the case, the Lovers, the other real major meaning of the Lovers has to do with making choices. So I have a feeling that with this movement and change, and also possibly the need to protect yourself or feeling a need to protect your reputation or need to protect your job. It's interesting. We're seeing a couple things about protecting reputation. there may be some choices that need to be made. So the Lovers may indicate decisions that you may be met with. This is kind of interesting. If this is resonating with you, because it does seem a little odd to me, or it does seem a little specific, definitely leave me a comment and let me know if this is making sense for you. But there definitely seems to be some kind of either a choice to be made or something relating to your career that involves another person, possibly a lover, just like we're seeing in the 9th house. So that's rather interesting. A lot here about travel and movement. So if you're not actually traveling or moving anywhere, this does suggest to me that your horizons are going to be opening up in some fashion. Okay, this is your house, Aquarius energy, 11th house. This is friendships. This is your social networks. This is your goals. And also, to a certain degree, this is a house of destiny. Okay, so you have Bast with the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles could legitimately be a person. Again, usually an earth sign person. It's funny that we have earth over here, because this could be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Somebody maybe who is a friend who might be able to assist you with something financial or in a business matter. King of Pentacles is somebody who is very astute at business, very good with their money, somebody who is very solid and secure. So this may be somebody in your friend group or in your network. Again, we have this idea, like we have the Three of Cups down here in your home sector of socializing. Bastet is definitely a card of happiness, of having a good time, of spending time with people. Sometimes it's has to do with music and dancing. So I don't know, maybe you have friends connected to that. Maybe you're planning on going to an event that's like that with friends. There's definitely a strong social element here, but there does also seem to be somebody here who maybe has some kind of business or financial advice for you, or can work with you or collaborate with you on something. So, I mean, kings are usually, this is a male designation, but the genders don't have to matter. This could be a woman as well as it could be a man. It could just be somebody who's very astute and understands business and has things together. So, yeah, so take it as it resonates here, but I feel like there's going to be some networking going on here. I guess that's the best way. Maybe some of this is going to take place in your own home. Maybe some of it's going to be connected to a move. I don't know, but certainly there seems to be a networking opportunity that's coming up. You've got this King of Pentacles and this King of Swords. So you've got this intellectual energy and you've got this business acumen, this kind of practical energy here. Do you have any other kings here? No, those are the only ones. So it's interesting. And those could be two different people too. Okay, 12th house, Pisces energy. This has to do with what you're not seeing. Okay, so this is either things that you're hiding from yourself. These could be things that you're hiding from others, or just things that are unconscious, maybe that you're not thinking about but are affecting you. They could also be things you're afraid of. Yeah, and remember what I said here about the 9 of Swords. You got the 10 of Swords with fire. So 10 of Swords, there's a fear here of something coming to an end. Fire indicates there could be some anger about a situation. There's definitely this sense of rising passions, and if they're in the 12th house, then this is something you're keeping under wraps. You're not allowing it to spill out into the wide world. You're kind of stuffing it down, so to speak. But there's definitely the need to purge something here, to allow allow this energy, this pent-up energy, to be released in some way. Because 10 of Swords indicates, yeah, something here that has to come to an end. And like I said, there does seem to be some regret and sorrow here. I'm seeing this aspect of worry. I'm seeing defensiveness. Now, whether this is you or somebody else, but in this first house here, I feel like maybe maybe you've been kind of sitting in this amorphous, like, you're like, don't really want to think about this, but you've got the Ace of Swords, so it's time for you to face up to what the change is. I don't feel like this is a bad change. I just feel like you are worried more about what you might lose here. Because everything that I'm seeing in terms of losses is not like, wow, everything's going to collapse. It's more like you're leaving something behind and you're just reluctant to leave it behind. It's familiar to us. And so you're fearful of this change, but it's coming. So I feel like this is saying you need to go with that change, and acknowledge the fear of it, and maybe acknowledge the feelings that you have about it. You may need to find a way to let that out, maybe through writing or journaling. Maybe, if you're an exercise person, maybe you need to go out and, go boxing somewhere and punch it out. I mean, whatever it is you need to do to get this energy out. Maybe you need to chat to friends. You know, you have all these social networks going on. Maybe you need to talk to friends about things. So I don't know, take it as it resonates. Okay, and it's interesting. Sirius is the card of your energy, Aquarius energy. It's at the center of your reading. And this is kind of the summation. And yeah, so we're seeing this Aquarius energy, and as I mentioned about Pluto and Aquarius, I feel like you are now being challenged to, well, I mean, really, it may not even be a challenge for you, because you are an Aquarius. You're already naturally capable of innovating, of thinking outside the box, of detaching from a situation and looking at it dispassionately. You know, that there's a strong energy of you needing to expand your horizons, to think about something differently. And you have it with the Two of Pentacles. So Two of Pentacles has to do, I mean, it can have to do with juggling more than one thing right now, but I feel like this is a card of natural change rather than forced change or cataclysmic change. So if there's a change that's coming, that rather than be afraid of it, you need to naturally roll with it. Now let's see, let's pull an Essential Oil Oracle card for you to finish up here. Okay. I'm just going to spread them out on top of here. And what does Aquarius need to know for this coming week? Okay, your Essential Oil Oracle card is Magnolia. It has to do with magnolia oil. Your keyword is amplify. And I'll read to you what it says. The trigger statement is, I can't get anything right. The true statement is, I am in divine time. Oh, did we not say that down here? Harness your loving energy and watch as one miracle unfolds after another. Okay. All right. So this says to me, along with the Two of Pentacles, with the Thoth being down here, all of these new beginning cards, all of these coming into awareness cards, all of these magical cards coming in. You've got the Magician and Urias up here. Yeah, you are moving into a time of change. Things are changing. Go with the flow of change. I know it's hard to let go of things from the past. We may be a little resistant to certain things, but you are ready to move on, whether you're moving literally from your home, whether you're changing jobs, or whether you are just maybe going to be traveling or taking a trip somewhere or taking a class where you're going to be expanding your horizons. But nonetheless, you are being called to think about things differently and to get out of your comfort zone. So that's it for this week, Aquarius. I hope this reading was helpful. As I said, if you like this reading, please do give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment if you choose. And please consider subscribing if you haven't, and hit the notification bell so you know when a new video is coming out. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.